Awesome also is the fact that we got a game 7 tomorrow. Well, no, Sunday, between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. We were just talking about the late game heroics of Jason Tatum that allowed Boston. Boston had been controlling the game, and then give the Sixers credit in that they tried to, they made a nice comeback and took the lead. And then Tatum went berserk and saved the Celtics. And Rob, the Sixers were up 3-1, right? Or no, they were up 3-2. They were up 3-2.
Right, it was 2-2, and then they won the big game in Boston. Right, they're up 3-2.
And, Rob, we all pick series. And a lot, we obviously make our picks. But a lot of times you're not sure. You're never totally sure because anything can happen.
If you were sure, Chris, you would be in Las Vegas. You wouldn't be wasting time doing a radio show. Let's call it like it is.
Right. I mean, I picked Golden State to beat the Lakers. But there was a big part of me that's like, but the Lakers could win this series. I think these teams are pretty close. I picked the Knicks over the Heat, but obviously, knew that the Heat could win that series. Rob, when I picked Boston over Philadelphia, and I said this on television, first things first, there is not a bone in my body that felt like Philadelphia was going to win that series. And I know they're a very good team. I know Joel Embiid is the rightful MVP. I voted for him. I know James Harden is an all-time great. But, Rob, because of their history, I was just like, they will not beat the Celtics. Now, maybe I'll still be proven wrong because they do have a game 7. I think I thought this would go 6. So they've already gotten further than I expected. But the history, I'm sorry, Rob, it was like, y'all going to have to show me. You're going to have to show me because I saw you lose to an Atlanta team that just wasn't that good. I've seen you blow playoff games. I've seen James Harden come up small. And last night, Rob, after that fantastic game 4 or game 5 to take a 3-2 lead, James Harden, Rob, 4 for 16, 13 points. 9 assists, that's good, but 5 turnovers, 13 points, 4 for 16. And so Rob, I feel very strongly. I mean, I haven't really, even when they were down 3-2, I did not think, Boston's. And look, you and I were both surprised when Doc Rivers got the Philly job.
Just that it was immediate. Like what happened with the Clippers was so bad. That's the shocking part. As a general manager, how do you introduce somebody, you know what I mean, who just failed big time with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? That was the part that was shocking.
Doc has had some struggles. The playoff struggles are monumental. He's lost 32 series clinching games. That's the most in NBA history. He's lost 9 times in Game 7. That's 4 more than any other head coach ever, including 4 straight Game 7 losses. He's never won a road Game 7. Now, God bless him if he goes into Boston and wins that game on Sunday. But he hasn't done it yet.
He has to act like he's still coaching Boston and it's a home game.
Not really. I mean, because that was the pinnacle of his career. Obviously, He won the championship there and got to another finals. But, Rob, he's blown 6 3-2 leads, most ever. He's blown 3 3-1 leads, most ever.
And, the only coach to blow more than one. To the Lakers.
Yeah, right. And that they could have won back-to-back. And so it's that combined with James Harden at times just not showing up in the big moments. Those are the things, and I do think, again, Boston's at its best when its backs are against the wall. They got their issues too, but I don't think their issues are as big as Philly's. And, Rob, I just That's why I think Boston will win. But, we'll see. Like I said, if Philly proves me wrong, then so be it, and I'll admit it. But I just do not believe in this team because of their track record.
It's hard to argue with that because the track record's not good. And yesterday was a perfect example of you win the big game in Boston, you come home, you're not ready to play out the box. You know Boston's going to give it their all. You got to be able to withstand that, not get buried so that you have to dig yourself out of a hole. You spend so much energy digging yourself out of a hole. And then, you tie the game and then collapse in the fourth. But a lot of that is energy and stuff that's going on.
That it took to you to get back
to get there, right. And that's the biggest thing. You see it happen a lot. Teams come all the way back, Chris, take the lead by a point or two, right? And then all of a sudden, that's it.
Yep.
So, the history is bad in their case. That's all. The history is bad. And I could see them getting run out of the gym in Boston. That's what I can see. Yep.
So you definitely see Boston winning.
Yep, I do. I think that's a huge win. The way Boston won it. You really do you think Jason Tatum's going to be 1 for 13 in Game 7 at home?
You're right.
That was the game to capitalize, Chris, right there.
Absolutely.
Build a big enough lead.
Had 17.
Right.
Like Jaylen Brown was on fire.
Those are the guys that you had to do. Those guys are down playing. Build an insurmountable lead up by 15 going into the fourth with their two best players not playing great. Where was that?
Right. Nah, you're absolutely right. If they do lose Game 7, Philly, look, I think Doc will be out of there. You've heard there have been reports about that and talk. Heck, his name's already been mentioned in Milwaukee, Rob. I don't think they'd hire him, but it's out there for a reason.
We didn't think Philly would hire him, and they did, Chris. So you never know. I'm serious. I thought Doc was going to have to sit on the sidelines for a year or two.
He was a
Chris,
great broadcaster,
and then come back. Yeah, but not that he shouldn't get another opportunity, but I just thought the wounds were too fresh. That's what I thought.
And these wounds would be just as fresh. I agree with you. Harden, Rob, I will be so – look, to each his own. He's wealthy beyond belief. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. If he wants to just go down in Houston and shoot threes and hit the clubs and, make it rain and all that, then that's his right. That's his prerogative. But I would be so disappointed in him as a basketball player if he went to Houston. So disappointing.
There's too much buzz about it for it not to happen. I got to admit.
So you think it's happening now?
I think it's happening. I really do. I just think that, especially, Chris, if there's a collapse here, what's coming back? What are you coming back for? If it's a collapse here, up 3-1?
Well, I agree with that. I think if there's a collapse, then I want to move on if I'm Philly. I don't know if that they can do it. But if I'm Philly, I'm trying to get Damian Lillard. And I would give up, as much as I like the young guy, I would give up Tyrese Maxey for Damian Lillard. You wouldn't?
No, I'm just saying Maxey, I like him, though.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
Really good young player, my God.
But you're not getting Lillard for nothing.
No, I understand it. I always say,
do it?
You got to give to get. If I really felt like Damian Lillard would push us over the top, if I was the executive, yeah, I'm always about star power and players now. Whereas Maxey's really good, he's not Damian Lillard.
No, and probably will never. I don't. As good as he is, and I think maybe he can make an all-star team or a few, but I don't think he'll be Damian Lillard. But the thing is, Rob, he fits the timeline that Portland has. They got a bunch of young guys that are developing their way into winning some ball games. And Embiid, Rob, even though he's not that old, he's got an old body. He's 29. And he labors. He's injured right now. And it always seems like he's a tad bit injured. And so how long do I have with him? You might have 7 more years for all I know. Hopefully you do. But I got to capitalize now. So that's the guy I'd be going after. Damian Lillard is clutch. Damian Lillard, I think for Dame, that he needs to get to a star, to a contender. And so that's what I would look to do. So I'm with you in that. If I'm Philly, I'm trying to move on from Harden. I'm just saying, if I'm James Harden, go to if one wants him, go to a contender. That's like, I think he'd be selling himself so short to go to Houston, but hey, other things he wants to do.
But it sounds like a lifestyle change. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a basketball move, it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah. He's going to be young when he retires. And Houston, is that the only city that has, certain types of clubs?
I don't know. I think his jersey's retired there.
I know that, but that's because he was there for 8 years. He'd be retired wherever he was.
Well, when you drop $500,000 in singles, no, I'm just saying. I don't know what the number is. I'm just talking.
Man.